Hello. In this episode of Inside Video series, we have with us Professor Runa Sarkar of the Economics Group. Professor Sarkar is an engineer from BITS Pilani and she has done her master's in environmental engineering from the University of North Carolina. She also has a fellowship in economics from IIM Calcutta. In 2010, she was a highly commended award winner at the Emerald Literary Network Awards. She is going to talk on a topic of sustainable development, exploring environmental behavior of businesses in India. So, ma'am, one definition of economics goes as it is a social science that studies how firms, individuals, governments make decisions on allocating scarce resources to satisfy their unlimited wants. With the constant dilemma between consumption and conservation of natural resources, what is the trend in the society that you observe?
You're right about the definition. Essentially, if you look at neoclassical economics, one of the limitations of neoclassical economics has been that it looks at the utilization of scarce resources all right, but has never recognized that Mother Earth is limited as a resource provider or a source of resources as well as a sink for wastes. Now, over time, with population, with the kind of economic growth we have had, we now realize that there are indeed limits to growth. Now, unfortunately, the market mechanism has not been able to discover the price for these kind of resources such as clean air or clean water that we use and render unusable henceforth. So, firms which have actually operate keeping this kind of an economic framework in mind are then probably, unfortunately and certainly unfairly, called the villains of development or villains harming the environment. So, corporate sustainability in fact is one of the ways that the firms have responded to this allegation by showing that you could produce in an environmentally and societally responsible manner. And governments and societies have also slowly tried and understood this particular role of the firm.
In line with the maturing markets and increased focus towards CSR, can you explain the concept of corporate sustainability as a business opportunity?
Certainly. First thing is, what is a maturing market? It's a market where, opportunities for growth are limited and you don't have too much of scope for innovation. In such a situation, sustainability issues can actually act as the lodestone for innovation. What exactly is business sustainability? Well, business sustainability is about understanding the expectations of the broader stakeholders and bringing in their expectations into the product or the services or the way the company operates. And because you are doing this, keeping in mind the bottom line, the profits of the firm, it actually makes business sense. CSR, that is corporate social responsibility on the other hand, is a related concept but quite different. Let me give you an example. If a firm were to invest 1 crore of rupees in a tiger sanctuary, simply because it made the CEO feel very warm and fuzzy inside, it's a corporate social responsibility initiative. On the other hand, if the same investment were made simply as part of a longer term strategy to improve the brand value of the firm, then it classifies as a sustainability strategy. So there is indeed a difference between CSR and sustainability, but in a maturing market, where you have fewer opportunities to devise new ways of growing, sustainability is that one window that can open up a lot of doors for you.
So, ma'am, what are the various tools that firms are adopting as a part of their sustainable strategies?
Okay, first thing is sustainability strategies are actually not an exclusive set of strategies different from the various strategies that you all have been exposed to. End of the day, if a firm wants to increase its margins, it would do so either by focusing on the bottom line, that is, increasing your profits, which you could do either by increasing your revenues, right, increasing the pie or making a niche market, or by reducing costs. Both of these are essentially sustainability strategies. Okay, so it's not completely new. These are old things that we are doing, it's just how we go about them. Some tools that help us are things like green supply chain, lean manufacturing. You could look at a balanced corporate scorecard, a sustainability balanced scorecard system. You could look at things like carbon footprinting or life cycle analysis. But the important thing to realize is there is no magic set of tools that will make a company sustainable overnight. The critical thing to realize is sustainability as a concept and as a desire must be integrated into the day-to-day operations of the firm. So no specific tools, but yes, there are ways to know exactly where you are in the sustainability journey. And therefore, of course, sustainability reporting and so on can form a part of the overall toolkit that you use.
So ma'am, does the core competence of an organization and its product line have an impact on establishing its corporate strategies? And could you elaborate this with some real life industry examples?
Absolutely. The core competence of a firm can make a huge difference as to what kind of sustainability strategies it adopts. What comes to my mind offhand is DuPont. DuPont is known as a very well-known chemical company, but it had an excellent safety record. Now, its sustainability strategy was then to create a new safety service. And today, for example, most of the Tata Group companies pay DuPont for the DuPont safety services, which they have adopted in their firm. Closer home, if you look at just products, there are some products which lend themselves very easily to sustainability strategies, and there are others which don't. Cigarettes, by all means, do not lend themselves very easily to sustainability strategies. And as a result, ITC, in order to demonstrate how it is indeed moving towards sustainability, has now a greater amount of revenue coming from its other businesses rather than cigarettes, which were part of its core business previously. Let's look at the other types. Let's look at Lifebuoy. The hand washing campaign of Lifebuoy is clearly focused towards better social health and lower infant mortality, which is great, right? However, for every extra hand washed, it means an extra bar of Lifebuoy soap bought. So you can see how the sustainability and business can go hand in hand very easily in the case of Lifebuoy. So for a chief sustainability officer of Lifebuoy to ask for additional funds from the CFO, he has absolutely no problems. Think on the other hand about detergents. Detergents are involved in using fresh water. You land up releasing surfactants and other pollutants into the water. So as a result, environmentally, certainly use of detergents cannot be encouraged. Yet, for a detergent company to make sustainable business, how can you go about it? Ariel has done this, P&G's Ariel has done this very, very effectively, where it has an ad campaign on men can do laundry. So as a result, what it's doing, it's promoting a social value of equality for women, so that, well, if the woman is coming home from work, if you can't help out with the cooking, hey, you can certainly help out with putting the clothes into the washing machine. So now, when an Ariel product is sold, it is reinforcing a social value and hence is part of a sustainability strategy. Of course, there are typical examples of solar power, wind power, Fab India, use of handicrafts, which are win-win. But the important thing to realize is nothing is a win-lose. It's about how you try and make up for deleterious impact in one aspect by good actions in another.
So what role does the Indian policymakers have in this entire concept?
Sadly, I would say that the Indian policymakers have had a very limited role, if at all. There are some positive instances. For example, in terms of environmental responsibility, you have the Perform, Achieve and Trade scheme or the trading of renewable energy certificates. But these schemes are few and far between. In fact, the entire corporate social responsibility policy of the government, where you are asking people to spend 2%, is a step in the wrong direction because the focus is on the expenditure rather than on the outcomes. So unfortunately, I have very, few things to say about the positive aspects of the way the policymakers have played a role here.
So ma'am, what is the bottom line learning from some of the success stories and the way forward?
Well, the takeaway, if you will, from all of this is the fact that there is no sustainable firm. Sustainability is the journey. So from that point of view, you can have various instances of sustainability, and whenever you look at any one instance of sustainability, you will realize it's not a one-off approach. It is a small initiative that was taken because sustainability was embedded in the organization. So the key thing to realize is sustainability is not something that you can impose on from the outside. It has to come from the inside. It has to be part of the firm's culture, part of its strategic goals, part of its orientation, and so on. The way forward, if you will, well, I look forward to the day that my course on corporate sustainability need not be taught as an elective at all, because all the core courses have enough concepts of sustainability embedded in them to complete your business education.
Thank you ma'am for sharing your valuable insights with us and all of our viewers, and hope to see you guys next time for our next Inside video series.